Hey garden friends, welcome back to the greenhouse. Last video I said I was going to plant in this little seed starter kit and show you how I prep it. Now I'll show you how I started and then now what I'm having to do. So let's get rolling. So here's my light rack where I brought in my Delphiniums, and they're up here. You see I put the little lid over most of the cells and it'll keep the humidity in there. But I brought it in and put it under here because after I read on they're called New Zealand Delphiniums now, not Dowdswell, but they didn't recommend the stratification. So I just brought them right on in. They stayed out in the greenhouse for one night. So here's my petunias. And you see how itty bitty they still are? But they're coming along. Now these two cells both of these? Yeah, both of these had fungus nits in them, or not nits, were they larvae? So I didn't have high hopes for them surviving, but so far they're doing okay. So, and then these over here, these are the two that did get sterilized. And look how much better they're doing. Can you see that? See the difference between the two? Now these were started a few days after these. So yeah, I made a big mistake in not taking the time to sanitize my soil, knowing it was full of fungus gnats. Down here are the roses I started. And this one right here I know has rooted. And the two back there I think are these ones up here. I don't know. But this one I pulled out and it had little white roots. So I hope I didn't disturb it too much and it will continue. But so far it looks like I have about 50% success rate with those winter cuttings of roses. And I got a bunch more out in my little DIY greenhouse that I got at the local Rose Society meeting, which I just attended. It was very illuminating. But that's the update on that. Now let's go out and check on some lilacs. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and or share with your friends. Someone may want to try using one of these seed starter kits and need a little bit of helpful hints. So there we go. Yeah, I'll play the clip of what I do to get started. Today, we're going to use a dollar store seed starting kit. It's all included to start some seeds. And I'll show you how I do it to get the best results. So anyways, on to using our dollar store seed starting kit. This has 36 cells, pre-filled seed starter. Now this one was $5. I got it at Dollar General, but I've seen them also at Dollar Tree. And first of all, ooh, you know how nice. They give you a little map here you could put on what you've planted. Keep a guide to remember what you planted. I have my garden journal that I use to fill in, so I won't need that, but that's a nice little idea. So first we need to saturate the soil after we open the package. So I'm just going to cut around the edges with my scissors. Stop. Begin. Just keep cutting around. Oh, it has a double wrap. Now, I usually have all my own stuff. I just got this because, can you see down here? Because, let me move it down. I'm sorry I don't have you in the visual all the time. I got to pay better attention. Anyways, because I have all my own stuff, but I know a lot of people don't. So picking up a little kit like this, if they have a particular variety or a few things that you want to try, is probably the way to go because it's $5, everything's here. And you know what, I have used some of the American seed products, seeds, other things, and they've worked very well. So this is seed starting mix. I have explained why I don't typically use seed starting mix in my seed starting, and it's just because it's not absolutely necessary to do so. Potting soil carries a little bit more nutrients that once the seeds get going, they have to draw from, whereas you will need to start fertilizing or at least feeding earlier with the seed starting mix because it's sterile mix. It has no nutrients. Therefore, you need to help the plants a little bit. So they have been very generous with it. You can't even see the cells here, probably because it got, moved around, but that's okay. We will take care of that later. But to get it started, you need to at least give yourself a day ahead to prep it. So what I'm going to do, I have warm water. Warm water works the best. Now I'm just going to pour it down into the water tray. And you will see the things start to float. I want to get a lot in there. Don't worry about excess. See, it's floating. Can you see that? Now, number one, warm water absorbs more quickly, and that's why you use it. So it's more efficient at drawing it up. I don't know why. There's probably some scientific reason why. So that's why I give it a day ahead, because sometimes this seed starting mix really takes a while to get to absorb the water. I want to say it's kind of hydrophobic, meaning it doesn't want to draw up water. And that can be problematic if you're wanting to get your seed started, because you need it nice and moist. So that is why I start ahead of time. So if this isn't ready tomorrow, I'll repeat it. I'll pour off the cold water, I'll get more warm water, I'll fill the tray until it finally absorbs it all. You can also put a lid over it. I don't have a square lid, but something that's like this, see-through. You don't even have to have see-through, but that helps the moisture to stay in there. See, it's already fogging up. So as it absorbs, it just helps it to stay in there. I don't know why. So we will come on back when this has absorbed the water, or even if it hasn't, I'll show you how I treat it again to help it to absorb water. But you want that seed starting mix to be very moist before you try to put your seeds in it. Now, that usually will work for hydrating seed starting mix. And you will note that this is still floating. It hasn't absorbed the water. It hasn't moistened. I can even go down here and there is no moisture in there. So this is very, very hydrophobic soil. So I'm going to spray the top. This is very warm water in this spray bottle. Now another way to help it be less hydrophobic is to add just a drop of soap to this, and that breaks up the dirt molecule. It opens it up. Therefore, then the water can penetrate. Yeah, so here the warm water just did not want to absorb. So now I'm going to water it from the top with this, and I'm going to have to give it another day or two even, or just throughout today, keep coming out and doing this. So there we go. We got the top all wet and hope that that penetrates. If not, I did not add the soap. If this doesn't work as far as getting it rolling, as far as absorbing that moisture, then I will add a drop of soap to this spray bottle. So that's as far as I can go with that for now. So I did not anticipate that being that hard to get that seed starting mix moist. And that's one reason why I don't bother using seed starting mix, because it can be very hydrophobic as far as not wanting to absorb water, that material. So we're going to set that aside, and when this is ready to roll, I will bring it back to planting it and share with you all of that. So in the meantime, I showed you my last video on starting delphiniums and for the indoors, and I had left them out here in the greenhouse. Well, then I went to the Dowdeswell Delphinium site, which is now called New Zealand Delphiniums. It's no longer called Dowdeswell. So that's something I learned. So, and it said it had nothing about stratifying or leaving it in the cold for a period. So I thought, well, if they don't recommend it, I'm not going to do it. But they also don't recommend starting in a coffee filter, which is what we're going to start with today. I was going to put this on here. Maybe that'll help keep the moisture in there, like a little bit of a lid. It's only part of it. So first of all, when you start in coffee filters, I will moisten these with the same water, but I'm going to put the name of each one on the baggies. So I probably will do a few seeds of each in the baggies. Not too many, because it's so easy to start them in the soil, but this could be a way, if you're struggling with getting them to germinate in the soil, then this method has worked for me. So I'm going to put Cobalt Dreams. On that one. So, have you ever tried this method for starting delphiniums? I've had a few people say that it really worked well. Instead of coffee filters, they use paper towels. That works too. I've just had a time or two an issue where the seed, the root started to get into the fibers, and so when you tried to pull it away, it actually damaged the root. So I went to the coffee filters, which are much more finely woven, and they did not do that. So that's why I choose the coffee filters. But if the paper towels work for you, then go for it. So Purple Stars. Yeah, so there's my baggies ready. So I will first pull out the Cobalt Dreams. Now I'm going to moisten one of these at a time. Now the water's probably cooled down plenty, and once it gets on here, it will just cool down just fine. So I'll let that go there. So I'll pull out my Cobalt Dreams, and I remembered there was plenty left over. Oh, it flipped out on me. So I don't know where that one went. Oh dear, I just lost a precious seed. I did not think that was on the end. All right, so I'm going to see what I got in here. Oh boy, I got plenty. I'm going to do 3 seeds of each variety or each color. And the rest of these I will sow like I did the last batch and put them right in on my light rack. You can never have too many. And the thing with delphinium seeds, they need to be fresh. So there is no point in me saving these for next year or starting them later. And you always, your seeds, you want to store them in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. When you get them, you're not going to plant them out right away. They're also in these foil things to keep them as fresh as possible. So I put the seeds on here. I think you can see that plenty good. It's just 3 seeds, and then I just fold up the coffee filter. I'll fold it in 2 quadrants, and it just looks like a little piece of pie now. And I will slip it into this baggie with the name on it. Now, I will set this on top of my refrigerator, and then I will check it daily. I could also put it up on the table in my office, but the refrigerator has always worked in the past for me, so that's where I'm going to put it. And every morning when I get my coffee, I remember to check them, and then I know whether I need to plant them up or not. So okay, so the next one is Sapphire Jewels, which I'll bring the baggie over here so I don't accidentally grab the wrong one, which today is a rough day. Let me tell you, you probably noticed I looked a little more wrung out than usual. I have been having migraines in the middle of the night. About 2 a.m. they get the worst, and there's just nothing that stops them, so I haven't had a decent night's sleep in a while. But I'm going to the chiropractor this afternoon. It's probably something with my neck. The last time I was having this issue, he set me right. So that's all underway, because I am not going through another night like that. So I got quite a few of these left too. So 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So one thing, and I mentioned it in my other one, once these start to germinate, you have to catch them right away. You don't want them to get too far, because then it weakens them. So as soon as you see a little peak of white of a root coming out, then pot them up. And you just set them on top of the soil and put a little bit of soil on top, and that's it. And then you keep it moist. So it does take dedication of checking them every single day, and it wouldn't hurt to check them twice a day. Okay, so there's the sapphire jewels, and now we're down to the last one. We're down to the purple star, new millennium purple star, Delphinium elatum hybrid. Yes, so let's see, get these things open. They're kind of fiddly. I don't want a seed to jump out at me like I did on that one. I totally lost it. Hopefully it'll come up in the soil here of my greenhouse. I've had that happen where I've dropped seeds in the gravel here of the floor. All it is dirt floor with gravel on it here of my greenhouse. And it's kind of fun when you have plants come up. I have got a wisteria, no, a trumpet vine grows over on that side, right in the ground. And it comes up in the summer. 1, 2, 3. So there we got purple stars. Delphinium. Fold it up like a piece of pie and put it in the baggie. So there's our start for these. And as I said, top of my refrigerator. I don't need to show you that. But I also, someone had asked me on one of my prior videos, and it was my digging up the suckers or the shoots of a lilac, and that was the easiest way to propagate lilacs, which it is super, super simple. And I'll connect that video so you can see it and how I do it. But they said, how do we know they even lived? You know, is there an update? And I know in a prior video, it was just part of the video, but it wasn't distinctly marked lilac update. So I don't know which one to show them. So I did a little update showing my lilacs, even though we're in the snow still. All of them, I have 4 growing out there. And all of them were ones I dug up from suckers of friends and family's plants. And they're doing just great. So they've even bloomed, the ones that are out by the road that I'll show first. So I have that. So we'll go out and we will see the lilacs. So I had someone ask if the lilacs that I started from suckers or the shoots that come up at the base of lilacs, and if they had lived, because I just showed how to do it. And a lot of times I pot them up and then I plant them out. Well, they asked if they were still alive. And here is one. You see how wonderful it's doing. And it looks like it's got buds on it. If I could get in there real close. I can't see. My eyes are blurry. Let me look. Oops, I don't have my glasses. I need to go get them. And then here's the other one. Now, one of these is the bicolored one, meaning it's two-tone. I think it's called Sensation or Sensational, and it's really pretty. And one is the one from my neighbor's bush, which is way up there on the corner, that she let me dig up a sucker. And it's a really pretty dark lilac. It's not a lavender, but it's a dark lilac color. So it's I guess you call it darker lavender. And then I have one, let me move over here slowly. This one over here, sticking up, is one that I got from a friend that was from her mother. And this is a dark purple. And I could see this one, look at this one, even has a leaf coming out of it. And this was also a sucker or shoot that I dug up from the base of a plant. And it's doing very well. I need to pull on it and see. The gophers usually run through here. So I'm wondering how, no, it's snug in there, so they haven't been chewing on the roots. So anyways, I'm thrilled. Look at that. It's really putting on some growth. I think that's blurry. I don't know. I can't tell. But anyways. So that's the update on the lilacs. Oh, I'll take you to see one more. It's over by my greenhouse. So with the snow melting, everything's looking a little mucky around here. But that's how it's like in the winter. So over here in this barrel, you will notice there is a lilac. Now this one, I think is a white one that I also dug up as a sucker and planted in this barrel. So, and it's doing really well. It really likes this spot. And I think it'll be beautiful here next to the greenhouse. Okay, I've been looking here at my hydrophobic soil. And at this point, yes, this was only $5, but it's already being kind of a pain in the patoot. So I don't know if I would do that again. I don't know if I would go for this with it being so bad. I know I have used, well, maybe it was an American seed soil. Okay, so here's this container, this Burpee self-watering 72 cell container, and it has the little pellets. I will open this up. I'll set these aside so I can take them in. I have a tray here ready to be potted up. This is full of my sanitized soil. So I have different seeds I need to start in it. I had thought of using it to do some microgreens, which I still might. Today is just not the day because I'm running on half a brain. So, oh, I did want to tell you, for many of you who are back here from a previous video where I was talking about getting tested for my carotid arteries and stuff, the test came out normal. I do not have clogged arteries, so that was plus. We still don't know why I have extremely high blood pressure. And when I say extremely high, when I went in for the test, where they scanned my carotid and heart and all that kind of stuff, the girl she kept taking my blood pressure, and she was like, had this look on her face like she didn't know how to tell me or whatever, and she said, you know, do you realize your blood pressure is extremely high? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here. We're trying to find out why. And she goes, no, I mean really high. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's dangerously high. So they were very caring. If you've never tried, it's called Lifeline Screening. Now, my doctor's the one that recommended I go to it because the cost of the screening through this Lifeline Screening program is less than my deductible on my health insurance, as well as they do more for the money. So I was very impressed with them, and it was very quick and easy. My husband went and had a scan too, and it just was really a good thing. So now that's a relief that I don't have clogged arteries. So we're still trying to find out what's going on. My doctor keeps saying it's stress, but I think I'm a very low-key person. I don't know where the stress is coming from. So we go from here. But I thought you'd like to know that. So here, this is the little pellets that are in these little cells of this tray. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put some water in here. I'm trying to turn these over. Some of them are on their side. So obviously when they got shipped, they were dislodged. I guess I should read the instructions because there is a mat in here somewhere. I guess it's in, okay, there is a moisture mat under here. Let me take it apart so you can see this. You see this? Aha! There's the instructions way underneath. Oh, and that's kind of nifty. A little, I better check underneath over there too. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay, so that's the moisture mat that comes in this. Let me point you down so you can see what in the world I'm doing. I always seem to forget that little aspect. Alrighty. Yep, you can see now better. So, oh well, you don't care if my head's cut off. So anyways, here is, I just set that one over there. So I think I could use this to flip these over that have gotten turned on their side. I don't think you're supposed to grow your plants in them when they're on their side. Probably doesn't really matter because once it puffs up, you kind of scruff it around, right? I don't know. I haven't done this before. Has anybody ever used one of these before? I think it's going to be interesting. Let me see if there's any instructions. So here is, oh, this is what this is. See, it's a little map so that you can write down what you planted in those sections, which that's pretty cool. Now, what is this for? Was that just to keep things in place, or am I supposed to put that? Oh, I think so. Okay. Let me get this going here. Pay attention, Pam. Take these out. And I know there's probably instructions, and I totally have lost them, but this is what I think you do. And I will check my instructions in a second. See, these hold this up out of the water, and this goes down in the water. Whoops, wrong thing. This goes down in the water, this, and it will wick it up. And then this will water the seeds. And then this goes on top so that you have your watering system. That's pretty nifty. And then underneath here is the lid that you put on top. Well, that is really, really cool. So let me grab the instructions. So, 4 easy steps for beautiful plants. Slowly add warm water to expand pellets. Soak for a few minutes, then loosen soil evenly in each cell. So yeah, I don't have to turn them over. Plant seeds as recommended on packet. Add water to the watering tray if needed. Cover with clear greenhouse dome. Remove dome after seeds have germinated. Okay, and it has a picture of how it's supposed to go together right here. So that's nice. Scan for a how-to video. That's cool too. I should probably watch the video. Alrighty, so I don't know if I have enough warm water in here. What I'm going to do is I will go ahead, I'm going to take this out first and set these down in here to put the water in so they could absorb them. Absorb it, and then I'll go watch the video. And then I'll come back and we'll plant this puppy up. So there's plenty, I think there's plenty of warm water in here. I was going to dump it on it, but maybe just spraying them won't be enough. I'm thinking it's going to take more water, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Oh, mosquitoes. It's been warm enough in here for mosquitoes, I guess. So I'm just pouring it in here. I'm going to pour it in the whole tray. I'm just trying to make room here for myself. I wasn't expecting to do this one. So, can you see? Yeah, you can see. So I'm just going to pour the warm water in here and let it absorb as it needs it. Don't know if I got enough in there, so we'll see. I may have to come and add more. So, oh, my battery's dying. Okay. Battery change time. So, I went in, changed out my battery, had some lunch, and now we are back. So I've decided I needed to kind of clean stuff up here so you can see better without me reaching over all the clutter. So here, this one is still floating. It doesn't seem to have absorbed the water. The water's just floating. So I'm thinking that's not a good deal. But I will continue to work with it until I can use it. And yeah, so it's not worth the work that is involved in that one. So that one was a wash. But this one, look at these, aren't they funny? All these little cubes that were not sideways were straight up. They just came straight up. So let me see if I need any more water in here, because some of them are still kind of dry. So yeah, I need to put some more water in it, and I can go out and get some. I've got tons of rainwater out there outside. I just need to find an empty tub to grab it in. Ah, found it. I'm just going to set this right there. Yeah, that'll hold it down in the water. Okay, so I have a recycled tub. Gonna go get some water. It'll be cold water instead of warm, but that's okay. So yes, this is cold because it is rainwater, but it will work just fine in here. Yes, you might be wondering why I didn't just turn on my faucet, and that's because the pipes are froze. That happens in the winter, so I have to haul water out here manually in a jug or whatever. Or a lot of times I have a bunch of metal buckets and tubs out there that I collect rainwater in, and that works just as well. Okay, so this is perfect. I really like this so far. It's working well. So I'm just gonna, the ones that, get that out of the way in case it's in your way. The ones that are all puffed up, I'm just pushing this stick. I think it was supposed to be a marker, but I am using it to push these, the soil or whatever this is made out of. It looks like it's coconut coir, however some people pronounce it, and some other things. Now, someone asked me a question on one of my videos recently, and it's about starting seeds on coffee grounds. Have you ever tried that? I have not, so I cannot speak to it. But, oh, those are hard. Those need to get more water for sure. So some of them have gotten their water and some have not. But this is all good. So I'm not going to plant these today because I hadn't planned on doing this really. I thought I was going to be planting in that. So I didn't choose what I wanted to plant in here. I'm so tempted to start tomatoes, but I know better. It is just too early for me to start tomatoes because, you know, I can't put them out until the third weekend of May. And then I would just have to pot them up, and keep going that way. And this, if I would just wait till later when it's a better suited time, like towards the end of March, April, May, yeah. If I do it even mid-March, then it just works better. I don't need to use up space in here or on my light rack for something that is just as easy to start later. So let me see if there's enough water in there. Maybe I need to turn it this way because my table leans. So they can start getting the water over there. All right, I may need to add a bit more water because I can always pour out the excess. All right, looks like I do. Need to put some more water in. So I will do that and I will finish that because that's got to be boring for you to watch me doing all that. So to relax, I'm supposed to be relaxing, de-stressing. And my husband even said today, don't do anything stressful. But I don't think talking to you guys about gardening is stressful. Actually, it's quite relaxing for me. But I've been taking another painting course. You may realize I already paint. I also teach painting, but it's a specific type. It's more like decorative, stroke painting, folk art, all that kind of stuff. Love it. I absolutely love it. But I always try to stretch. I've taken one Impressionism course, loved it. And now I'm taking one that's called Modern Impressionism. And I just wanted to share with you my first paintings in this class. So this is the oranges. And I like it. I like how it turned out. I like the colors. And then this one is the cone flower, which I don't love the colors. I don't love these colors around the outside, but that's so easy to change. So I may decide, I've been mulling it over, what I would like to change those to. So those are my two beginner paintings. I do have one or two, the underpaintings are done. And I'm working on that. And I really want to do some more this afternoon. I'm giving myself 1 to 2 hours each afternoon to go and paint and forget about the day and do all of that. Now it is kind of getting into my video editing time. So I may whittle down to 2 videos a week instead of 3. I don't know yet. I'm really trying to find a middle ground. I love doing the videos. I love talking to you all, posting on YouTube. But I don't know if there's some kind of underlying stress that runs with me thinking I've got to have one done for Monday and one for Wednesday and one for Friday. I don't know. Like I said, I always thought I was a very low-key person. Very calm, very relaxed. But my doctor says I have too much stress. So I don't know what it is. Anyways, so we will come back and we will plant these up. I will pick out what I want to plant and we'll do that. I've got to examine the seeds in the packets to see if the seeds they sprout maybe around the same time, because when they start to sprout, you got to take off the lid. And if they're not all sprouted, you may be diminishing, something for the other ones. Now, you don't always have to cover seeds and give them a humidity dome. It does keep the moisture in. And with this one being self-watering, maybe it's not as paramount as with other things. But I do want things that will germinate about the same time, have the same growing conditions, and I won't have to pot up too soon. Yeah, I've got to clean out this greenhouse. I do have my DIY greenhouse out there, feather, and I got to put shelves in it. And then I can put some of the things in here that winter fine in there, and or my seedlings when they're ready to come out of the house and the protected environment. That greenhouse is a little bit better, gets better sunlight than this one, and it gets it sooner, so it may be a better candidate for housing a lot of my seedlings that are graduating from in the house to outside. So I already have some of my winter sowing containers out there, giving them a test in that, and that's to be seen how that works. I have a lot more winter sowing to do. I keep on going because we stay cold here. March, we can be just as cold as February. More snow usually, so I'm not looking forward to that. But that's just the way it flies. So I know I've been all over the place today here in this video, but that's just the way my brain is working today. So sorry about that. But a lot of times you enjoy things that I think are just way out there anyway. So thank you for that. And I will see you in my next video, where I will be doing something. I hope to be planting this up, or I'll look into planting it up. Hopefully that will absorb water. I am going to start the microgreens in that, and we will all go from there. And I'll probably have a couple more paintings to share with you of what I've gotten done. So please come on back and enjoy. I hope you liked seeing, because many of you, the season's coming up, how you propagate lilacs from suckers. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I was kind of all over the place and we didn't really do anything that productive, but that's just where my brain is today. I love sharing my paintings with you. Please tell me what you think. And I will put a link to the course I'm taking. The doors aren't open. They open like twice a year, but just in case somebody wants to check into it. We will seed some microgreens. I've never grown microgreens. I think it's very interesting, and I have some cilantro ones. I have one that's called mild greens. I have, a bunch of them. So I want to try that. I will update you on the delphiniums that I put in the plastic baggies and put inside on my shelf. And I hope you really enjoyed my how to propagate lilacs from suckers. Now, for many, that season's coming up really soon, that you can do that the easiest. And so you might want to check that out and look at that so you can be ready. And hopefully I will update you when mine are blooming to see, they've been out there a couple of years now. The ones out there by the road already have bloomed. This one down here next to the greenhouse hasn't bloomed yet, but last year was really weird. So I can't go by that. And the one at the very back that I said was a dark purple, that one just got planted this year. So, but I do have high hopes for it. It's a good sized one, so maybe it'll bloom, and it's a beautiful dark purple. I did plant it in an area that has a lot of gopher activity, but so far they haven't bothered the lilacs. So I know I was risking it, but I did. I will show you what I used. I don't know if I remember if I showed you. Before the rains came this time, I went out and I sprinkled this everywhere around my garden. And it's made with castor oil, and the rains, soaked it down, and it's supposed to, put out an odor they don't like. I have some left. I will probably do it again because a lot of times when it rains like it has a lot, it washes it away. But I wanted, because they had been really bad out there, as soon as the snow melted up front, the gopher tunnels were everywhere and you could see them. So I made sure I did a good treatment there, down the Rose Cottage alley, and in the secret cottage garden. I just put it everywhere. I can only hope. It does work. It's just having to reapply it every few weeks that can become a pain. So I think that's it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.